Some casualties in the National Football League, Jeremy. Any of them tickle your fancy?
I mean, look, if you're looking for a center and the Linderbaum thing's not going to work out, you saw the Cowboys moved on from their guard center. It's tough because, again, even looking at people that know a ton about football, and I would say everybody in this room knows a ton about football. When it comes to interior linemen, how many could you name?
Nah, not a lot.
You know, and it's not
the Ravens starting 5.
Yeah, it's not a cop out. Nobody brings up their name except for the best ones in the league
or the worst.
Yeah, Falele. So
no, evidently not.
He's going to get paid.
Mekhi Becton.
Yeah,
Mekhi Becton is the worst.
But again, like I think this Ravens team has always done well with street free agents. They don't want it to affect the compensation picks. And when it comes down to it, I could see them, as I call it, the dented can theory, right? You go out and you get the ones that are dinged that don't cost you a ton. Hey, this is a discount. I'll take this for a year or two. And I feel like with the system that they could have in place with Minter, whether that's defense or even offense with Doyle coming in, that you can mix and match and find the right pieces to make this work. But they have their work ahead of them because the first thing you have to get done is this Lamar contract extension to know what you have.
Raven fans have united, Ed, because no one has said anything about Stefon Diggs.
Not a peep. Not a peep.
Finally united.
By the way, I
think you would have a couple years ago.
Yeah, I would have been more interested in Alec Pierce, Darnell Mooney with Atlanta. Who else do we have there? There's another deal. Oh, Rashid Shaheed hasn't worked out a deal with Seattle. Yeah. I would be interesed more in those guys.
I'd love to see Shaheed.
Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, me too.
Plus Shaheed,
because she's a returner too.
I was just going to say, yep.
Yeah, no one wants Diggs. Diggs, his better years are way behind him, in my opinion. And on top of that, he's bringing some baggage that probably Baltimore just doesn't want. We're not that kind of city. You know what I mean? They don't want that. There's no real casualties that, other than who you named, Jeremy, that I'm interested in right now. I think I'm more interested in the draft. If they work out a trade for somebody, okay. Mm-hmm. But there's no one. I mean, out of the street agents, I'm not. I mean, the street free agents, I'm not worried.
I'm glad you said that because I was hoping we weren't just going to have to pick somebody because I feel exactly the same way. I looked at the people who were released. I'm like, yeah, that's really doesn't affect this team at all. And nobody there. The biggest news. There was some big ones. I mean, Kyler Murray getting getting a walking pace. No, obviously we don't need him. I mean, but the McDuffie trade just kind of blew me away. Our cornerbacks are so highly prized. He's a two-time All-Pro, and they felt fine. Just saying, nope.
That's what they do in Kansas City, man.
Yeah.
They don't pay them cornerbacks. Now, let's go back to, I asked you guys this yesterday with Kyler Murray. A lot of people are talking about Miami.
Yeah.
Is Miami willing to roll that dice again on an undersized quarterback? And I'm not saying undersized quarterbacks in the National Football League are a problem. Russell Wilson was outstanding. Drew Brees was outstanding. Baker Mayfield.
He's undersized for being undersized.
Yes, but it didn't work for them. So normally when one doesn't work, do you go to the same style? You normally go opposite of that style.
Yeah, they should go out and get Brock Osweiler's 6'7" ass. Is he still alive? Anyway,
He's broadcasting.
Is he?
Yeah.
So with the way that things set up for Miami, I question what they want to do in the offseason because they're sitting there with an opportunity. They basically cut all their good players, or a lot of their good players, with a chance for, as everyone called it, the March for Arch, right? Do you want to be the team that gets the number one pick when Arch Manning's coming out? And I don't even know what type of pro he's going to be, but you have that last name, which makes people interested.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be pretty fine. I think, to be honest with you, I think the hiccups that he had last year will make him better this year. I do. I think he's going to have this upcoming season that we thought he was going to have.
You're talking about Arch.
Arch.
Look, I believe in the kid, but he looked more like an athlete than a thrower of the football that first year with Texas. I'm not saying he couldn't throw the deep ball, but there were a lot of times where I felt like he looked more like Cam Newton playing football than, a pocket passer back there. Like he was taking off and running a lot.
And that may not last long, but it'll get you drafted in the first round.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I think he's going to be the number one overall pick regardless.
Yeah, I think.
But that's what I'm saying.
Nothing wrong being Cam Newton.
If you're Miami or you're the New York Jets, how do you perceive this season coming in? Because I'm sure Aaron Glenn wants to win. I mean, he just had a terrible season, right?
Yeah.
So New York Jets, yeah.
And with Miami, you got a brand new coach. Maybe he's willing. If the ownership's saying, "Hey, look, we understand this is going to be a bad season. We need to get through this, but we're set up for this next year. I could see a bunch of that stuff happening, them moving other pieces, including, the ones they already cut.
Would you want to take a job, Ed, where they're telling you year number 1 or year number 2 is going to be bad? We want you to take it. Would you be willing to take that job?
Not if I had a 2-year contract. I'd want to have some. I would definitely want it, yes, because I think the best jobs to take are turnaround jobs, where you can do. You have some minor successes and look like a genius because place is so burned to the ground. So yeah, there is an advantage to doing that.
But see, here's the deal: if you're taking a turnaround job where you're in control, that's fine. If you're taking a turnaround job where someone is telling you, no, we're gonna suck for about 1 or 2 years because we want more draft picks, you're not in control of that. I don't want to take that job.
Well, I mean, if they say if it's like that, then they're talking about it's borderline tanking.
Yeah.
That they don't want to succeed. Just want to build up draft capital.
Yeah. If I'm turning it around, Jeremy, and I'm in control of the turnaround, yeah, I'll take that. Mm-hmm. But if you're telling me you have a plan, I got to follow your plan for the first year or two, I don't want to take that job.
I got you. I mean, some guys, though, like we've seen it before, it's like take the job. Certain guys, like we've talked about in baseball with Albie, and then, of course, Ben Johnson with the Lions, when he turned down jobs because he knew he was good enough to get the job he wanted. And when Chicago opened up, he's like, that's where I want to go. Mm-hmm. And I think the same thing with Jesse Minter here. I think, turning down other jobs, looking at this is where he wanted to go, because you look at the organization and the success they've had.
Greg Albanese, I know different sport, but he turned down jobs until he got the one he wanted.
But there's a lot of guys that don't get the opportunity. They turn down a job, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't want him now. So sometimes you got to take the one that you get.
I ain't taking that.